Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into deconstructing an everyday piece of design. We're talking about a global visual style that we all completely take for granted, the traffic light. I mean, think about it. Every single day, millions of us stop at red, we wait at yellow, and we hit the gas on green. We see these three glowing orbs so often, they're practically invisible to our conscious minds. But today, we're going to make them visible again. Okay, let's kick things off with kind of a strange question. Why didn't we choose completely different colors for this visual style? Seriously, why not a bright blue for stop, a purple for wait, and a vibrant orange for go? It kind of seems like literally any colors could have worked as long as we all just agreed on them, right? Well, it turns out these colors weren't just picked out of a hat. Not at all. Their story is actually a century-old visual mystery. These specific colors evolved over more than 100 years to solve one massive, incredibly high-stakes problem. Think about it. How do you tell thousands of heavy, rapidly moving vehicles exactly what to do from really far away? So, Section 1, the story behind red. Let's meet the first character in our visual style, a historic railway veteran that eventually made its way right onto our modern city streets. Way before cars were even a concept, train drivers desperately needed a simple visual language. Imagine barreling down the tracks in a massive steam engine. You need to know instantly if you can keep going or if there's danger ahead. Early railway systems used red to denote danger and to command a stop from a distance. Red effectively became the universal standard for stopping on the rails, and that naturally laid the absolute groundwork for the traffic signals we use today. Now, what is really fascinating here is the actual physics behind that choice. Red wasn't just picked for its dramatic flair. Actually, red light has a relatively long wavelength compared to colors like blue or violet. And because of that longer wavelength, it scatters way less in the atmosphere. Basically, this means a red light cuts right through atmospheric haze and remains perfectly visible over vast distances. However, I've got to say, it's a bit of an oversimplification to claim red is just the color human eyes can see the farthest. Its real power in this visual style actually comes from a very specific combo: visibility, convention, contrast, and history. We have literally built an entire global system around it. And frankly, once a color becomes the undisputed, universal symbol for stop, changing it, well, that would be incredibly dangerous and honestly just way too confusing to ever attempt. Moving on to Section 2. Why we go on green. Let's explore a color that already had a really robust history of signaling permission and safety well before it ever directed a car. A massive practical advantage of this whole color system is actually biological. Human eyes are highly sensitive to a few colors, but we are especially sensitive around the green-yellow part of the spectrum. Because our eyes pick it up so easily, green light naturally pops in normal daylight. When you're driving toward a bright sunlit intersection, that glowing green is perfectly distinguishable from the trees, the buildings, and the sky around it. And this brings us to a really crucial point. Red and green sit incredibly far apart on the visible spectrum. They are perfect, unmistakable opposites. Red means one absolute thing. Green means the exact opposite. Because let's face it, when you're flying down the road at 60 miles an hour, you do not have time for nuance. You need these signals to be completely distinguishable from one another in a split second. Which brings us to Section 3, yellow, the visual buffer. As roads got busier, black and white, or well, red and green, syncing just wasn't cutting it anymore. We needed a chaotic middle child. You see, early traffic signals didn't always have a three-color system, but as traffic got more complex, engineers realized they desperately needed a transition state between stop and go. They needed a signal that delivered this exact subconscious instruction. Hey, don't panic and slam on the brakes, but definitely don't keep going like nothing is happening. So why yellow or amber? Well, because our eyes are so uniquely sensitive to these specific yellow-green wavelengths. Yellow is just incredibly noticeable in daylight. It's universally utilized in our everyday visual style for anything demanding immediate attention. Think about it. Warning signs, school buses, high-visibility clothing, construction areas. When your brain sees yellow, it instinctively knows it is time to pay attention. Okay, Section 4, designing for every eye. So what happens if someone's eyes just don't process these colors the same way? How do we make sure this visual style works for people with color vision deficiency who might not easily distinguish red from green? Good design is all about making information completely hard to misunderstand. That's exactly why the traffic light gives us multiple simultaneous clues rather than relying on color alone. We use color for immediate hue recognition, position for spatial standardization, brightness for intensity contrast, and sometimes even shape to provide geometric cues. It is a brilliantly redundant system. Let's look a little closer at that spatial standardization. In vertical lights, it is always the same. Step 1, red at the top. Step 2, yellow in the middle. Step 3, green at the bottom. This exact physical arrangement guarantees that even without any color recognition whatsoever, a driver can identify the command purely by its spatial position in the stack. Imagine the alternative for a second. If traffic lights randomly changed position every single day, red on top on Tuesday, red on the bottom on Wednesday, drivers would literally have to consciously stop, think, and solve a puzzle. And when you are operating a heavy machine at high speeds, you have absolutely no time for puzzles. Standardization ensures we bypass conscious thought entirely and just react automatically. Section 5. Order out of chaos. Let's step back and look at the big picture of what this visual style actually achieves. Think about an everyday intersection. It is a giant, terrifying coordination problem with cars, bikes, and pedestrians rapidly converging from all directions at once. Imagine if we didn't have this simple visual language. What if we tried to communicate every specific instruction with a different color? Just imagine a 10-color system where blue means slow down, purple means turn left, orange means speed up. It would be absolute chaos. You need a complex training manual sitting right on your dashboard just to safely navigate a quick trip to the grocery store. Instead, we rely on exactly 3 familiar colors, just 3. And with those 3 simple glowing lights, we successfully coordinate and control millions of vehicles across the entire globe every single day. It is an absolute triumph of efficiency. Stop, wait, go. By entirely stripping away language barriers, reading requirements, and complex rules, these 3 simple visual signals trigger immediate, automatic, life-saving reactions. You could be driving in a foreign country where you don't speak a single word of the local language, see a red light, and you instantly know exactly what to do. So I want to leave you with this thought. We are all completely fluent in this language without words. But it really makes you wonder, what other invisible systems and designs are dictating your daily life right now without you even realizing it? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you next time.